And welcome back, everyone, to episode 29 of the Sports Coverage Podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm alongside my co host, Vince. And we hope you enjoyed our longest episode ever last week, and we are hoping to kind of keep going and see how long we can get. So, this week, as always, we have a ton to talk about. So, we're going to start with the NFL, which is in its offseason, but unfortunately for Vince, there was a move that happened again that definitely I know he wasn't so happy about it when he told me about it. Yeah, so the Miami Dolphins have let go of two sentimental parts of their defense, Emmanuel and Xavier Howard. And this is number one because their cap space was, $60 million over?
I think now it's 50 million, I think, but it was pretty bad. Let's just say that.
So and it's unfortunate that they came to this point where this year they thought it was going to be the big year where they could do all these things, and now they're $50 million over the cap limit, and now they have to remove a lot of these pieces that they brought in or were keeping so that they can make that long run to the Super Bowl. So, Vince, what do you think about this? I know obviously you were sad, but how is this going to affect the Dolphins in the long run?
Well, it's definitely going to affect us. I mean, not only are you losing Emmanuel Ogba, who is one of the better defensive linemen on this team. I mean, he's not very notable unless you're like a diehard Dolphins fan like me. I mean, anyone who pays attention to the NFL, I mean, obviously can know him. But I think that he was truly one of the more special pieces on this team that that wasn't very notable. But yeah, and listen, just before I get into Xavier Howard, I just want to congratulate him on such an amazing career. Like he is the greatest. Not only is he one of the greatest cornerbacks to ever play for the Miami Dolphins, but he is one of the greatest Dolphins in the history, and I think he should be able to get a Ring of Honor one day just because of his his time with Miami, and he just had such a special run with us. I mean, he made multiple Pro Bowls, multiple All NFLs, on All Pros. Like he is truly one of the best Dolphin players of all time, and I think he deserves to be rewarded like that because not only did he stay with us his whole career. I mean, I know his career is not over, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked up by a really good team. But sadly, we have to see him go, and hopefully this works out because not only are you letting go two guys that really build a defense together, especially like ours, and they're veterans. They've been with this team for maybe ever since I started watching football. So it's definitely hard for me and the whole Dolphins fan base, and we just got to see where it comes from here. But it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, and just if you're looking at it, who else are they unfortunately going to need to drop in this offseason in order to get that get down to the salary cap?
Well, we'll definitely talk about this next episode when it comes to free agency, but I think like Christian Wilkins is a guy that you need to re-sign. He's a guy that you need to get back in this defense because not only are you losing a guy like Emmanuel Ogba, who is one of the better defensive linemen, you got to get Christian Wilkins back because he is your main guy for this defense. He when you think of captains for defenses, you think of guys like T.J. Watt for a team like the Steelers. Christian Wilkins is that guy for the Dolphins, so we definitely need to bring him back in order to not only just make it to the playoffs, but even try to win somewhat.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and it's it's obviously tough because it's teams like the Dolphins, Saints are the highest over the salary cap this year, and the Chargers with a new coach, it's going to be tough to be over that cap and get it down. So unfortunately, we might be saying goodbye to a lot more players this offseason across all of those teams that I just mentioned. So it's just going to be tough, but I think there's teams out there who could really use guys like Xavier Howard. And I think you said you had a couple theories maybe about where he might be landing.
I mean, a lot of secondaries is one of the main issues that a lot of NFL teams have, and I wouldn't be surprised if not a team in our division in the AFC East, but in the NFC East. I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders take a look at Xavier Howard because not only is he one of the better veterans in this league that can still play, and I get it, he's dealing with a lot of injuries, and that's kind of one of the main reasons, not just cap space, but that's one of the main reasons why we let him go because of injuries. I think that the Commanders would honestly like to take this. I mean, they have the young corners and they have a guy like Kendall Fuller who is also kind of old. I think he's like 29 at the moment, but bringing in a veteran who can be one of your better corners and build, guys like Benjamin St. Just and Emmanuel Forbes can learn from a guy like a Xavier Howard. So as much as I don't want him to, obviously he's leaving and I wouldn't want him to, but he can learn from, he can teach. He can teach a lot of young corners and a new team like the Commanders.
Yeah, and the Commanders are going to be guys that are definitely way under the cap. They're, I think, the lowest, or they have the most cap space available going into the offseason.
And look, they're gonna be able to get guys, and that's the whole thing with the Commanders. They're gonna be able to draft really good guys and pay them good money, and to get a guy like Xavier Howard who can lead your team to victory. I just think that's the main thing that the Commanders should stick during this during this offseason.
Yeah. And that's a good segue into the next one, because speaking of the Commanders, Eric Bieniemy will be leaving the Commanders and joining UCLA as their head coach / offensive coordinator associate person. I think that was like it was like head coach, offensive coordinator, associate or something. But basically, he's joining UCLA as the head coach. So, interesting, because UCLA had a down season this year, and I think they were kind of went below expectations for what they were going to achieve. And I think that kind of shows the state of the Commanders now a little bit, because the downgrading from the Commanders to UCLA is not great, but shows where these guys are going to be going. So do you think that this is something that he just kind of wanted to get out of there, or do you think there's or did UCLA recruit him specifically? What do you think about the move?
Well, this is what I think about the move. I honestly think it was horrible. I mean, not only did Eric Bieniemy go from winning Super Bowls with the Chiefs to being with a super super mediocre team in the Commanders, but now he's ending up in the collegiate level. This is just horrible. I get it. He's still coaching professional sports, but when you go from winning the Super Bowl to this, it's looking really bad for you. I don't know. I mean, I like the move for UCLA in as a if I was a UCLA fan, I would like the move. I mean, Eric Bieniemy has a lot of experience, especially in the pro level. But yeah, for Eric Bieniemy, I'd be not just mad, but I'd be pretty disappointed in these last couple of years of what he's been able to do and capable of doing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of got to feel bad for him, but this is something that, you ended up with the Commanders, and it's not really much lower you can go in the NFL, and unfortunately, he's just kind of had to give that up. So, but we do wish him well at UCLA, and I think UCLA is deserving of a coach like this. So I think that it should be good for the program, and hopefully he kind of gets back on track, and maybe will return to the NFL with a bowl trophy under his belt. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's kind of it for the NFL, because it is the off season. But next week, free agency starts, so we're going to be talking about some landing spots for those guys. But again, another great segue. Speaking of the collegiate level, EA College Football will be arriving later this summer, and news has already leaked that all 134 FBS schools will be in the game, as well as real-life commentators like Chris Fowler, as well as a lot of the game day staff, which is really cool. And every player who opts in will receive $600 in a copy of the game with NIL. And speaking of NIL, that will also be included in the game along with the transfer portal, which will already make the game more realistic than Madden. And just a question for you, will this be the greatest football video game ever? Will this beat out the Maddens?
For sure. I mean, not only has the whole nation been waiting for a game like this, the last game we got that had to do anything with collegiate sports was NCAA 14, which a lot of people, didn't, like my age, personally didn't get to play. And, that's something that, was kind of hard and difficult that I never got to really experience, or many people got to experience when they were younger. But now I'm reliving, kids back then, their dreams of playing, NCAA games when they were younger. Now I get to play NCAA 25, and I am super excited. I do personally think it's going to be one of the better football games, because not only is it being a little more realistic when it comes to the NIL, the transfer portal, it's going to be just a lot better, because how it's ran, not only are you going to get more accessibility with teams, you're never going to get bored of the game. Like, for example, Madden has 32 teams in the game, right? You have a whole year to play it, right? From September, let's say, of 2024 to September of 2025. You have pretty much a whole year to play the game throughout that time. You only get to play with 32 teams. Now with NCAA, you get to play with 134, which I think is a huge advantage. And not only is it just going to be FBS, but later on, in a couple months, or even it might take a year, we're going to get some FCS schools, which would just make the game amazing as it already is with the FBS schools arriving. So I do think it will be the greatest game ever assembled.
And I like to appreciate the fact that they're just getting the game out and they're telling us that they are going to release those things later, because we know everyone wants the game, and if they delay it, I think that there's going to be some issues, as we saw with just the teaser trailer that was supposed to come out during the national championship. There are already rides with that not being posted there, so that would make it even worse if they delay it. So I think that good, you have every single FBS school, and I think over 12,000 athletes opted in or something.
11,000, something like that.
Yeah. In the first 12 hours, though. In the first 12 hours.
Yeah. But again, I just want to say something. They did come out and say that, not many players would opt in. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if someone would want to opt out, because of money issues or just problems that they don't want to be in the game. But with with an experience like this to be in the game, who wouldn't want to take it? But again, some people are difficult. That's just how that's just how the way, being an adult is later on in your collegiate life. But, they did say that even if a player opts out, for example, I know that Travis Hunter did opt in. It already came out. But for example, if Travis Hunter says, I do not want to be in the game and opts out, you cannot go into create a player and put your name as Travis Hunter and play for the Colorado Buffs, because, you can't obviously use the name or license of a player even if you create them, because obviously they opted out. So that's just one of the many few things that NCAA is trying to make a little more accessible for the players of their game.
Yeah, and
which is reasonable though. Which is reasonable because imagine if I wouldn't want my person naming me after a game when I said I didn't want to be in it. I mean, it's frustrating for some people, but again, yeah.
Yeah. And the one issue that I have with the game, but it's kind of out of their control for reasons, is just there's going to be no real life coaches in it, which is obviously something that takes away a bit from the game. But the Patriots have been doing fine without Bill Belichick and Madden for the last 20 years or whatever. So I think it'll be fine. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal in the long run.
I mean, I would like it, but also I think it might take a couple of months, maybe even a year. Like I said. I do think there will be coaches in the game, but it's going to take some time because, they're trying to focus on, the three major game modes, which is Ultimate Team, Road to Glory, and if I'm correct, it's, the franchise mode. So those are the three main things that they're focusing on, and they're trying to get the players involved before the coaches, and I think we're just going to have to wait longer down the line for that.
So now I have a question for you. Obviously, besides it being college football compared to professional football, what's going to be the main part of the gameplay or main game mode that's going to differentiate it from Madden, besides the fact that it's going from college football to professional football?
Well, I think when you say what's going to be one of the more, one of the game modes that's going to be played the most, I would think that, for example, Madden is they only care about, Ultimate Team, and I find that horrendous, and that's why not many people like the game that much anymore. It's just gotten really bad. It's been out of control because all they care about is Ultimate Team because they just want more money. I don't.
Yeah, personally, I never play Ultimate Team. I play franchise.
Look, I stopped. I stopped playing Ultimate Team after I think it was Madden 20, because it's really gotten bad ever since 20. It just hasn't been that fun. It's kind of been not that much realistic. It's been more realistic, but it's not the same game. I don't know if that makes any sense. I mean,
yeah, no, it definitely does. It's hard to do. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't get to play NCAA growing up, for example. Even though I was born, I was too young. So,
yeah.
Obviously I grew up on Madden. I grew up playing, Ultimate Team. That was one of the main things that when I was little, Madden 17, Madden 18, Madden 19, Madden 20, those were the Maddens that that everyone cherishes the most because you got to play a game mode like Ultimate Team. It was really one of the more funner game modes, like drafts, like all those things were just fun. But now it's been getting boring in recent years, and I think that when it compares to EA college football, it's going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot funner because not only are they going to add a lot more all time players, like just imagine using Tim Tebow, Gator, like a Heisman edition of Tim Tebow as your quarterback in Ultimate Team. That would just be amazing.
Was Ultimate Team confirmed for?
Oh
Is
yeah,
he?
no, they said that they were, but again, they did come out and say that not only was Ultimate Team going to be one of their main focuses, but so was Road to Glory and obviously the franchise mode that I don't know the name off of the top of my head, but those three modes are going to
They're
be
expect. All right, so it's gonna be Dynasty, which is like franchise, Road to
yeah,
Glory, and then Ultimate Team. So okay,
yeah, those
but
three modes for sure are going to be.
yeah,
I think they're going to be the
but
funnest. Like they're going
remember,
to
it's still go.
they're going to take most of their time and effort for three of those modes. Unlike Madden, where they just don't care about franchise that much. I mean, this year they kind of took a little care of it. They obviously added crossplay, which is a great add. But I think their main focus is going to be, college football's main focus is going to be not only Madden like does with the Ultimate Team, but they're going to focus on three of those modes, which is just going to make the game more funner. And I just think it's going to be a lot better. But before you go on what you're going to say, in my opinion, I think Dynasty, which is franchise in college football, is going to be the best mode to play because not only
Mhm.
is it going to be as realistic as possible. Imagine you're trying to recruit a 5-star in high school, right? He's about to be a freshman in college, and you want to recruit him. But Alabama, for example, Alabama can come in and steal your guy for as much money as they want because the NIL will be in the game, and that just makes it more funner, and that just makes it more competitive because not only do you have to try as much, but you have to really be mindful of what you do, and I think that's just going to be a really funny addition that they're adding. So I really think it's going to be one of the best. That deserves it. That
Exactly.
deserves it. No, it really does
I
because it's just more realistic. Like Madden just doesn't care. Like all they care about is Ultimate Team, and college football really has listened to us. Like they want to improve, their fan base and make us happy. So I really really like the move.
Well, the one thing I want to note is it's still EA making the game, so there's going to be money involved somewhere because that's what EA is known for at this point.
I get that, but I think they're gonna. What I think the problem is with money, I think they're gonna want to use most of that. Like unlike Madden tries to get most of their money off of Ultimate Team, unlike sales of the game, and I think with all the publicity and just all the marketing that college football has done over the last maybe the last couple of weeks, months, and maybe until May. Who knows what they're gonna do until then? But that's where I think they're gonna make most of their money, which is gonna be off of sales of the game. And I think because more people are gonna buy college football this year than Madden, that's how they're gonna make more of their money than what they would Ultimate Team.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think that you're right that it's definitely going to be there's going to be way more sales. I think because it's the first one in 11 years, but I'm thinking long run for the mechanics of the game. They have something special where EA basically has a monopoly and is able to make football games for the NFL and NCAA. So they've been adding more colleges over the years for like your whatever the game mode is called superstar player to like play from. So I feel like they should be able to add something because EA Play like connects like your accounts or whatever. They should be able
Yeah.
to like cross over players from that because then it makes you
Oh
want to
yeah,
have
no, they
both.
did. They did. I think they didn't publicly come out and say it, but we did see a post that came out maybe I think like just a couple days ago. The Senior Bowl, Reese's Senior Bowl, did come out and say that they are going to be in the game, which is a huge move. I mean, what can people just expect from that? But that also means that you're probably going to be able to move your one of your players from your create a player mode and move them from the game over to Madden, which is going to just make it a lot. It's just going to make the experience of playing those modes a lot funner. But I do gotta note one thing.
So
One before you say something, they did say that the game is gonna be nothing like Madden, which to me, I'm kind of confused about because if you're gonna switch over your thing, if it's gonna be different than Madden, I don't know how that's really gonna work. But maybe Madden is gonna
yeah,
change a little bit. You can only imagine, but yeah.
so apparently from how you can import draft classes into
Yeah.
like
Into
franchise and
franchise.
stuff.
Yeah, but
Apparently, you're gonna be able to import draft classes from NCAA into Madden, like your draft class from NCAA into Madden,
oh, that's gonna be huge.
which would be, and especially if you could use it in like superstar mode, that's even better. Because then you're competing against the same guys in like the combine and stuff in Madden as you were um
College.
in college, which would be
Yeah,
crazy.
that would be huge. I think that the cross like from switching over to the other to Madden, that would be huge. But again, I just don't know how that's gonna work if they did come out and say that it's not gonna be anything like Madden. We're gonna have to wait and see. But I think that Madden
But
is probably gonna have to change a little bit too.
But also for the combine thing, like if you're importing draft classes, you're also not competing against randoms in the draft, like when you're getting drafted. So you can have a
Yeah,
full
you're
draft
competing against
sequence
your
now
opponents. Like,
without skipping around, which would be like
yeah,
that'd be really cool for Madden. And I think just that and with since players are opting into NCAA, oh, I guess that's the only issue because they're not technically opting into Madden as well. So they would need to get a separate opt-in to like get into Madden. I guess legally is
oh,
how it would
I
work.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, but I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of NIL involved with that because you know they're already having as much troubles as they are right now with getting with the $600 and copy of the game. That that issue already is turning into it's going good for obviously college football, EA college football, but I think for Madden it's going to be a little difficult because not many college players are probably going to allow it. But we just have to
Yeah.
see. We just have to see. But wait, I
We'll
gotta
see.
ask you something. In your opinion, what do you think is going to be like the one of the better game modes? I mean, I said Dynasty just because I think like franchise is going to be a lot funner. Like for example, imagine having like your 1-star quarterback from like one of the worst. Like for example,
Oh,
like Coastal
I
Carolina, your 1-star quarterback playing in his first. Again, there's realignment. You can change your team to another conference. Imagine
I
I moved,
think
the Coastal Carolina to the Big Ten and played my first ever whiteout game with my 1-star quarterback. Like that would just be huge. I've seen these all
I
over, the internet. And that'd be
I
so
think the
fun.
last thing is if you're gonna do is this is what would complete like the Road to Glory mode. You need to be able to play like your last couple like high school games for like the recruiting process. Because like
I like
you
that.
know how
I like that.
Madden you would be able to play your last couple of like college games or like the college finals or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they have to
But
implement that
but
with
my
high school because
but the question is, I also wonder if they're gonna add like kind of like a story mode. Like I get it. I don't know exactly off the top of my head if NCAA 14 had that, but I wonder if there's gonna really be a story mode because not only would it just change, I could only imagine they're gonna be because obviously EA is like that. They did the same thing on Madden, but it would be kind of interesting because I honestly, I'm really interested to find that out. I think that's one of the more questions I have besides just knowing a lot of stuff.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say if they implement the full recruiting process, like you're getting offers and stuff, as well as like you can like opt in and out of getting drafted junior year. You could like do all that stuff. If they
Yeah,
have all of those things and like NIL negotiations in the like Road to Glory series, that's gonna be my favorite game mode. But franchise obviously is gonna be fun because
yeah.
um
I mean,
you're
look,
not randomly well, I think
134. Like
the
that's
thing about
crazy.
franchise mode is you're not going to be randomly replacing like a really good coach in the thing, which always annoys me. Like in Madden, when you become the coach of like the Patriots or whatever, just Bill Belichick ceases to exist. Or like when you become
Yeah,
the coach of
like it's
like
not really
the
gonna
Chiefs,
matter that much.
Andy Reid just leaves. So because there's no coaches anyway in NCAA, like it's just kind of more fun to see like you got hired and this is it. So franchise is going to be. I'm excited for the whole game. The whole game's going to be amazing. I'm going to
No,
play all the
but
game
I
modes.
oh everything. Hold on. but I think we're forgetting one thing, and I don't know if they're bringing it back. But imagine if mascot mashup came back. I don't know if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but when the
So
mascots used to play against each other in NCAA 14, that was probably. I mean, I've always loved mascots growing up. I mean, as you can see, I have mascots up there. I love it so much, and I love the fact that if they bring this back into this game, I would never go back to Madden in my life.
but here's the thing. Um, they in like that teaser trailer, they had renderings of like Big Al and stuff, like ready,
Yeah,
looking
and
like
then
they're
Nitty
making them for the
Line
game.
and yeah, like, I saw that. Yeah,
So
I mean, it could
I
happen,
wanna
but
I wanna play as the giant orange as the offensive lineman from Syracuse, or
that'd be
like
huge.
or the Stanford pine tree, just like
Okay,
standing there as their secondary
does
or
it have any
something.
hands? Like I don't even. Ugh.
I don't know. What I'm gonna look up Stanford
Nah,
mascot.
but like I don't know.
No, it does not have hands.
Okay, that's just gonna be a little confusing. But again, I think that's one of the more modes that we need to be talking about because
Oh,
I.
but one thing, the tree is in NCAA
Oh, it
um
is. Oh wow.
14 or 13 actually. It's in NCAA
Oh
13.
yeah, no. Oh yeah. Like you could use it as like a player, or you can like play with it. I
And
mean,
it
so
and it indeed does not have hands in the game.
okay, that doesn't make any sense.
So
Yeah, I cannot wait.
we're
I
looking
think this
forward
is
to
gonna
this.
be.
I like how an entire new game with like college players is coming out, and the only thing anyone can talk about is these like creepy tree mascots that are going to be playing against each other.
I no look. I just hope that game mode comes back. I mean, I obviously again I didn't play NCAA 14, but I obviously know about this game mode, and I think this is the main thing they not should be worrying about, but they should make sure to bring back because I just think that the whole world, the whole nation would love this
Yeah,
ability to play with mascots.
yeah, yeah. I agree. And as more news comes out about that, we'll talk about it over the next couple weeks
Well, we
because,
don't. Well, hold on. I don't know about weeks. We might have to wait till May. So just keep
yeah,
out. Watch out because this
I
might
think
be
news is going to
an
keep getting. I think news is going to
throughout.
keep getting leaked
Look, watch
because
out
it
throughout
just kind
episode
of
50. Around episode 50, around there, we're gonna be releasing
episode
more
50.
more. Yeah, I think like it's got to be 20 weeks until May. Or am I tripping?
It's definitely not 20 weeks. It's like 8, 9, probably 10.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
around there,
It's basically March already. We're here. We're getting close. Excited.
But yeah, I
So,
again, I just think
yeah.
that this is gonna be amazing. I really can't wait, and we'll definitely keep up with like updates throughout the
Yeah.
whole process. We're just gonna probably have to wait till May, July, and hey, I'm calling you out to a 1v1, Andrew. Hear me out. When the game releases in July, we're having a 1v1, and we're gonna go live, and we're gonna
Should we
we're gonna.
post it? Should we post the
Oh yeah,
post
we're
the
posting it. We're
1v1?
going live, and
All
we're
right,
posting it.
we're gonna
Let's
post the
go.
1v1.
All right,
We're
don't
guys,
worry.
we're a gaming
Hey,
channel
hold on
now.
and hold on and hold on. Let's choose our teams right now. Who you? I'm choosing the Gators. I'm choosing the Gators.
All right, I'm playing as Bama. We'll do an SEC matchup.
All right. Go Gators,
SEC
baby.
matchup. Let's do it. All right. Yeah. We'll do it.
Bet.
Look out for that.
Yo,
Um,
Andrew,
I'm
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
write that
cooked.
down now because we're gonna forget. So, yeah. All right. All right. So yeah,
Oh,
guys, look out for the matchup in a couple months. It'll be here. Although if the game's like $150, which I'm fully convinced it might be, we might have to delay that a bit.
oh no, I'm buying this game. I don't care what it is.
All right. Um. Okay. So I like I like how our entire just NCAA conversations devolved into a video game. So
Yeah, that took up
that's what the
almost
off
half
season
of the
that's what
episode.
the off season does to you.
Yeah.
But
We'll definitely get back to our game of the week picks. Eventually. Maybe we gotta wait till
yeah.
September. But yeah.
Yeah. But it's NBA. Steve Kerr, the Warriors head coach, has agreed to a $35 million contract, which makes him the highest paid head coach per year in the history of the NBA. So the Warriors are okay right now, but is this the right move, or are they going to get or is this just going to be a waste of money for the Warriors? Because only 2 years, which isn't bad.
I think spending $70 million over 2 years is pretty insane. I
It's
mean,
I think it's 35 million total, and then it's like
okay.
seven.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
all right, but still, all right, that's still a lot. And I don't know if this Warriors team is capable enough to spend that money because they're dealing with a lot. I mean, they're dealing with the elderly age of Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry. So it's. Hold on, hold on. Just watch out for this. That's
Yeah,
what I think about. This is what I not about the move of getting resigning him, but I think of just the Warriors in general. I don't think they're going anywhere in the playoffs. I'll just let you know that.
yeah. No, I agree. Um, the Nets. Oh, Brooklyn. Oh, God. The Nets fired head coach Jacques Vaughn after signing him to a massive extension. So now we're gonna be paying him over the next couple years, and that's the state of the Brooklyn Nets. Basically, we're we're not good. Um, we made a couple moves at the trade deadline that should have been good, I guess, but this isn't great. So you know, the Nets, I can do this. I'm a fan of them.
Whoa, whoa.
That's the league right now. The entire league is just laughing at the Brooklyn Nets because for some reason the Knicks are good. We're supposed to both be bad together. What happened to that?
Hey, the
It's
Knicks are. I listen. I
yeah.
did say that we're not going to be makers a couple months ago, but I might have changed my choice. We're just have to see until June, May. We're gonna have to wait. April. Around playoff time, we're gonna have to see.
Yeah.
But
It'll be
the
fun.
Knicks are
It'll be fun.
the Knicks are phenomenal right now. I'm sorry to say this to you, Andrew. The Knicks are just on
Yeah.
fire.
Yep. The Knicks are on fire. So, now we get to talk about your team. Yay. The Heat are good. Congrats. The Miami Heat faced off Saturday night against the Pelicans and got into a bit of a scuffle, which led Jimmy Butler and four other players to be ejected. Surprisingly, Draymond Green was not included in this alteration
Oh,
in this thing here. So that's good. It's getting better. I thought he was gonna like pop out of the ceiling or something and like because I saw
punch
the
someone.
notification. I saw the notification like Jimmy Butler gets put in a headlock and scuffle, and I was like, oh, they're playing the Warriors tonight. So um, yeah. But after the game, Jimmy Butler said, "It's that time." So Vince, you dissect this. It's time for what? What do you
It's
got?
time for playoff Jimmy, baby. The Heat are coming back to where we were last year. Listen, I don't know if we're gonna be back in the finals, but I know damn right we're gonna be back in the Eastern Conference Finals for a damn fact. We are one of the best teams in the East. I don't care what people say. I don't care if we're the 7th seed or the 8th seed or any seed going into this tournament. We are still capable enough to win. I don't care if we lost Gabe Vincent. I don't care if we lost Max Strus. All I care about is that we got Jimmy freaking Butler who can lead your team to victory. I mean, he's proved it. He's proved it. And look, he's 4-0 against. Oh, I saw this on Instagram. He's 4-0 against teams that he's been in a fight with, which was the Celtics last year, the Lakers a couple years ago in the finals. I don't and well, obviously today, and I
Well,
forgot the other one, but I'm telling you, oh, and
here's what I
the
want to
Nuggets.
ask though. Here's what I want to ask: who is keeping track of those stats about the Jimmy Butler fights to one games ratio?
Well, I mean, come on, he's that guy. Like everyone's gonna have to
Yeah.
pay attention to his fights. It's all over in the internet. I mean, yesterday wasn't even that big important of a game. I mean, we were just playing the New Orleans Pelicans, who I guess we got into some beef with. And I know that I thank God they're in the Western Conference, not the East, because then Jimmy Butler would really have to beat the hell out of them going to the playoffs because when it comes to playing the Celtics, we don't fool around. I get it. We gave up a 3-1 lead in the final in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but trust me, Jimmy Butler and this Heat team will be back. And look, when he said by it's that time, it really is that time, and he wasn't joking around. Look, Andrew, I know you don't really get to experience a lot of playoff time or experience as you would
All right,
like.
that's not okay. That's not
No,
okay.
no, it is. It
That
is. It
is
is. No, it is. It is. It's amazingly. It's
Don't
fine.
remind me. Don't remind me.
Look. Oh, do you remember Jose Altuve?
You know, the
Yeah.
Giants won a playoff game. Did the Dolphins win a playoff game?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hey. All right. Well, actually, we can be talking. We both won Super Bowls. We both won Super Bowls. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
good.
That's fine.
I guess you.
The Cowboys are still bad. Yay!
Oh, hold
There we
on. Let's
go.
just do this. Let's just do this.
Oh yeah, we can do that now. Yep. There
Yeah.
you go. Cowboys are still bad. All right. Yeah. Keep going. What were you saying?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. But I'm just saying we're coming, and we will be back. We will be back. Keep mark that word.
Okay, I'll put that next to the NCAA
To the
25 matchup note.
all right, all
So
right, all right.
moving on to men's basketball, big upset with controversy and other things. Unfortunate that there was controversy involved in this because this was a hell of a game. Wake Forest upsets Duke 83-79 in a tight ACC matchup with Wake's March Madness hopes on the line. And the court was rushed after the game, which sparked debate because Duke star Filipowski sprained his ankle after making contact with Wake fans. So I don't think you've seen this yet because it came out while we were recording, but I got the notification that Wake released a statement on the situation. So I'll just read a part of it real quick. On behalf of Wake Forest, we sincerely regret the unfortunate on-court incident following this afternoon's men's basketball game and hope the involved Duke student athlete is doing better. I called Duke Vice President and Director of Athletics Nina King and ACC Senior Associate Commissioner Paul Brezzo and immediately after the game and expressed our sincere regret for the situation and our concern for the Duke student athletes' well-being. And then they went on to say that the security did have measures like implemented theoretically to get the visiting team out of the way of a court rush, but obviously that's kind of not really possible. But they said that I'm in full agreement that there's something more that must be done about the national phenomenon of court and field storming, and Wake Forest looks forward to being a part of these conversations. So, as it appears, um, they have talked with people and they've agreed that it's an issue, but it's something that maybe could have been avoided, but not really because the buzzer sounded, the Duke players are still in the court, and fans are rushing the court. So I don't know. So my question for you, and I think that this is definitely a controversial topic now because people across the nation are talking about this. Should court rushing still be a part of the game?
Look, court rushing is one of the more exciting, availabilities of going to a game, especially like an upset. I mean, think about it. Tennessee, took down their goalpost, threw it
All right.
the
So
lake.
why are you targeting me today?
Oh no, I
What
didn't
is
mean to.
happening?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I
No, but
don't
it's
want to
true.
talk about these moments.
All right, I'm sorry, but no, it's true. Like, look, when it comes to upsets, you get excited. The fans love it, and you know, it's different with the NFL. I mean, with obviously football and basketball. Basketball is such a tight space, and it's obviously easier to get again. Like this is a good example. Get injured just like Filipowski did, with a sprained ankle. But it's pretty surprising because I don't know if we can blame him also because he wasn't getting out the way as fast enough. He could have just
Well, I
walked a
the
little
one thing I
more.
want to say is that shouldn't be an issue that a player has to have getting off the court fast enough after a loss. You're just like the buzzer sounds and you just
Yeah,
sprint
but
into the
no, I
locker
get
room is
that. But he
something
was just
that's like
standing there. He was just like,
yeah, I agree. I agree. There wasn't.
I think that
I
I
mean,
think that he should have gotten some pep in his step and kind of moved a little along. I just think that there's no right to just stay there because he knows damn right. He knows damn right that those fans were coming in. They were coming. They were coming. Like he really was gonna get rushed. Like
well, as soon as
it's
like that like deep pass got blocked, they should have just bolted off the court really because they knew something was coming. Because then Wake dribbled it out for the last like 1 second or whatever. There was time, I think, but I do agree that there needs to be more Like,
Precaution.
I don't.
I don't.
But like,
Just
I don't
precaution.
know how you control getting the away team off the court while that's happening. Like, you can't just have like a magical barrier zip up. So the question is, if this has been happening for the last 50 years, over 50 years, then why is it just every once in a while that when these things happen, it gets debated, should this end, even though it's gone without issue for, I mean, well, obviously there were issues in the past, but when these issues come up, you're calling for the ban of something that did work and has been working, and it is definitely a part of the game that people like to see.
I don't think that this needs to be stopped. I just think there needs to be more, again, like a precaution, in my opinion. I think that the players need to be a little more mindful, and so do the fans. The fans need to not just kind of avoid the players' way, but they need to kind of get in a way of not interfering with the player, because then it can ruin, it can avoid. You can definitely avoided this. You know what I mean? Like, this could have definitely been
So,
avoided. But I don't know if banning the court rush needs to happen. But I just think that
yeah.
I think the sports world's got to come together and find a way to kind of avoid this issue.
Yeah. So, next thing I want to talk about, you had a game of the week that did not go your way. I had a game of the week that went my way. It's the same game though. Florida versus Alabama. That went into OT and Bama won 98-93. So I was boarding a plane when this happened. So Vince, you watched the end of the game. What did you see happen here?
Look, this is a really anticipating game, because not only did this mean for both of these teams getting into the March Madness tournament, but kind of solidifying themselves as one of the better SEC teams throughout the whole conference. So this is a huge rivalry game, not just rivalry game, but just game in general. I think this is, in my opinion, the game of the week, because it came down to the wire. It really did, and Florida took their last shot, which was a three, to almost kind of tie the game. But they ended up missing, and it kind of led to it led to a loss. And sadly enough, Bama won. Which obviously you're taking shots at me now because Bama won, but it's fine though.
I
It's
need
fine.
to.
But
After what you
because this had well, look, because this had something to do with March Madness, and because probably Florida's not going to make the tournament anymore. This is what I just want to give them in applause. I just want to give them a round of applause for not making it to the bracket. Well, as of right now, we don't know if Selection Sunday we'll see. We'll have to see. But this is what I give them. I want to
And
congratulate both teams.
Bama lost to Kentucky today, but
Yeah, did we beat Kentucky a couple weeks ago? I don't understand it. Really
it's
confusing.
basketball. No one understands.
Well, I get it. Football, like it would be reasonable for like my FCS school to come into the FBS. Like, for example, if I use Coastal Carolina, like I'll use this example again, and I beat Penn State. I mean, upsets happen all the time, but like that, like I don't understand like how that works. If Florida beats Kentucky, then Kentucky go beats. I don't know. It's so confusing, but
Yeah.
that's just how sports is sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, the NHL, I'm excited that we are talking more about that recently. And we get to do a makers or fakers that has to do with me again. The Devils, but also, first of all, we're bringing makers or fakers back. Good to see them back. But New Jersey Devils, right out of the playoffs right now, and right out of a wild card spot. And this is their time to do it. Tomorrow, I'm going to the game where they will be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they are directly ahead of us in the standings right now for the wild card. So if we beat them tomorrow, we gain points on them to hopefully get more into a wild card spot. And it is a huge game that I'm gonna get to go to. But makers or fakers, Devils. I'm going makers. And although I'm biased, they have a ridiculous amount of talent. Now that Jack Hughes is back in full force, you have Tyler Toffoli, who might have been one of the best offseason pickups this year. You have a captain like Nico Hischier, who has been doing much better as of late. Jesper Bratt is playing as good as ever. And then you have Timo Meyer, who you signed to an 8-year extension earlier this year, making amazing plays like he did today as a recording versus the Montreal Canadiens. So they are better. And now you have a regular starting goalie like Nico Dawes, who has been playing very, very well. So, yeah, makers. And I think there's a lot of reasons there. And I think it all comes down to the players are playing better and how they should have been this entire season. So, Devils are going to be makers, and they're going to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow. I hope this doesn't get clipped. So.
Gimme Fakers, baby. I hate the Devils with all my life, man. Like, look, look, I have this right now. I don't even know who. I think this is Bafraud. I think that's his name, Brafod. Look, Igor Shesterkin is the greatest.
What number is that?
Goalie. Oh, it's
Wait,
Brafod.
what number is that on there?
It's Brafod.
Brodeur? That's Marty Brodeur? You just have that?
Oh, yeah.
Brafod, why do you just have that?
Yeah.
Brodeur! One of the best goalies of all time. What? Where do you actually have that from?
I pulled that out of nowhere. Don't worry. I got my ways. But anyway, besides the point, they are definitely fakers. I'm a little biased also because, not biased, but in a way of kind of saying I don't like the Devils at all. Don't ask me why I have that and how I have that. But I think that the Rangers are better. That's the whole point. I mean, I'm not supposed to root for the Devils. So, again, I think they're fakers in a kind of way of just being a hater. But I think the Rangers are better.
2020,
because, we have
2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. 2023.
All right. We get it. We get it. We lost. No, look. Trust me. We're all right. We'll talk about it a little more, in the next segment. But are you on a 10-game win streak? Exactly.
So fine.
Let's give a round of applause for the Rangers real quick. Hold on. Yeah, no, just give a round of applause. I mean, they're on fire recently. I mean, come on. Can the Devils do that? No.
They also tried to kill Bastion by ramming him into a wall, and then his nose was bleeding. But it's fine. Well,
we have real hockey players. That's the whole point of the game. We're supposed to.
No, on that, I'll have you know that on that penalty, one of our players got a penalty for roughing. So yeah, we're fighting. We're real hockey players.
All right.
Don't worry.
Hey, don't be surprised when I bring out my Igor Shesterkin jersey in a couple episodes. Then you'll start talking. I'm gonna intimidate you. Trust me.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Let me say it. Actually, the New York Rangers. All right, the best team in all of New York and New Jersey have been on fire recently and have tied their franchise record for a 10-game win streak. And with this, they solidify. Well, hold on. Do they solidify themselves as a top tier contender? Yes, baby. If this was a makers or fakers segment, I'm giving this a makers all day. I mean, we have guys like Zahibichad.
Okay, obviously they're makers. They're number one. They're number one in the conference.
Look, they're obviously he's one of the better offensive weapons that any hockey team could have. I mean, name me your offensive weapons besides Jack Hughes and
Jesper Bratt, Timo Meier, Tyler Toffoli.
What? Randoms.
Do you not know who Tyler Toffoli is?
I know Timo, whatever the hell is. Yeah, but
Timo Meier.
All those guys are all those guys are randoms compared to Hibajad and Vincent Trocheck. Come on, stop playing. Oh, does Vincent Trocheck still play with the Rangers?
Okay, so all right, that's a little.
all right.
I believe he does though.
I turned into wait, what's his name? Ryan a couple episodes ago who doesn't know anything about sports besides basketball.
Ryan. Yeah, his hockey knowledge. Check out that clip on Instagram if you haven't yet. But he did. I just want to say he did surprisingly well on those.
Oh no, he did actually pretty well. I saw one of them. He actually
the hockey one. The hockey. But he did well.
Exactly.
He knew Sidney Crosby. There you go. He put him.
That's an improvement.
Yeah, But yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Let's move on into a subject that neither of us. All right. Well, let's just let's move on.
Let's move
So
on, and we'll talk about
NCAA.
this in a couple episodes.
See you in the playoffs. Um,
Uh,
in NCAA baseball, number one Wake Forest gets upset by 4-3, or gets upset 4-3 by UNC Greensboro.
who?
Okay, wait, yeah. Wake is having an up and down episode here. They upset Duke, then now they're getting accused of like illegally storming the court, and then they got upset by UNC Greensboro. So, but they're still number one. There you go. There's the up,
Hey, and
the
hold
up at
on,
the end.
and hold on. Who's number 2? Go Gators, baby. You know, I wish there was an option to put on this media thing, like the Gator chomp, like go Gators. I wish they had that. Obviously, you have no college spirit. I mean, I mean, you don't really live in Alabama, so it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, I guess it
Yeah,
makes a little sense, but you don't get to go to any games. Like, you never get to experience the real college experience. Like, come on.
I got Rutgers, okay, and I'm proud of it. I got Rutgers football. Okay.
Who?
I got Rutgers.
Nah.
I got Rutgers and Princeton up here. There you go. There you go. Princeton. Let's go Xavier and Lee.
We don't care about Ivy League. All we care about is the big shows, the big games. Go Gators.
The Big Ten, otherwise known as Rutgers.
All right, you know what? I really want to play you in NCAA already, bro. Like I'm actually sick and tired. Like I'm calling you out again. Like let's go. Gators versus Bama, bro. Like I'm not even lying. Like, I'm not lying.
All right. No, I'm
think I'm
gonna do
joking.
it. Don't worry.
You think I'm joking? Hold up. Wait. See this? See the schedule?
Yes.
They should have my name
Yes.
on. They should have me against you on this schedule. Wait till next year, bro. Bama versus UF. Gonna be the best matchup of the year. Me against you.
That is that the
Going
schedule that is that the terrible schedule that the NCAA gave you that's pitting you
Oh,
against
no,
all of the
this
best
is-
teams in the league?
This was last year's actually, which we
Oh,
ended
lucky
up
you.
losing to Utah. We beat McNeese. I actually went to the Tennessee game. I remember that. I remember we filmed episode 3.
Yeah,
That was-
lucky you that you don't have to stare at the schedule of you guys that shows you guys getting destroyed by like every team in the league next year.
We're gonna have to play Texas. I'm a little scared, but it's fine. We beat Charlotte. I think we beat Charlotte. Yeah, we beat Charlotte. We lost to Kentucky. I don't even want to explain that. I think I think we lost to Vanderbilt. Whatever. Besides the point. We lost to South Carolina. We lost to Georgia. That's not even a question. I mean, come on. I think we lost to Arkansas too. We obviously lost to LSU like 50-30 or something like that. I don't even know if we beat Missouri. We lost to Missouri, and we almost beat Florida State. And I know that there was. Hold up, I wish we could roll back the clip of me saying it, but I ended up predicting that we would beat Florida State, and we ended up not. I'm a little again biased.
Can I note
but-
something real quick? I'm on the Gators website right now looking at their schedule. They have the SEC championship listed as part of their schedule, so they're being a little ambitious there, aren't they?
Wait, what? Say it again.
On the Gators website for their schedule, they have the SEC championship listed there.
Oh yeah, no, because I'm telling you right now, we're winning. Like, come on, don't stop playing. Like, what? Come on, that's not even a question.
How did we
Look,
devolve from baseball into this again?
Because I want.
Because you're ripping me about living in New Jersey.
Yeah, come on. You don't even. All right, when's the last time you went to an Alabama football game?
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Yo, you never got to experience Nick Saban. Yo.
Yeah, I know it's sad.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. That's sad. That's
You
sad.
know, though, we got Kalen DeBoer now. It's the new era.
All right.
There you
Chill
go.
out. Chill out.
So, yeah,
You know what? I wish we
we'll
were just
move on
talking
from
about
that,
football.
and we're gonna go to
All right.
Yeah. But we got to talk
I'm
about
glad I got to call
MLB.
you.
Spring training's here.
I know, but I'm again. I'm gonna call you out again. I'm beating you. I'm telling you, I'm beating you. Like you're not winning.
All right, fine. Well, you guys will see. So moving on to MLB because it's spring training, the MLBPA has filed an official complaint with Fanatics and Nike regarding the new pants and jerseys for the 2024 season. Yay! Finally, they actually care because the jerseys are terrible, like really, really bad. They're so bad. And I hope that they can do something about it before the season starts. Do you know that the Reds, they didn't make enough pants for the Reds, so they're using the old Majestic pants. They didn't make enough pants for
This is horrible
for a baseball team.
Fanatics. I don't know who's in charge of this. I'm guessing it again, like I said last episode, some Chinese manufacturer somewhere in China. I don't know what you're doing, ruining our sport. But man, it's getting out of control. It's getting out of control. I think we really gotta we gotta change this, but somehow, some way.
Yeah. So good for you. Tim Anderson signs a 1-year, $5 million deal with the Miami Marlins. Yeah, I think it's a good deal. Just what do you think, real quick?
I really like the deal. Because not only does he bring not really like a veteran experience, but kind of like if he's been around the game of baseball for a long time, and I think he's one of the kind of he can just build the shape of this team, and I think we could definitely make the playoffs because of him. I wouldn't be surprised if the Fish make it all the way there. Go Marlins, baby!
Yeah. Mets pitcher Kodai Senga will likely start the season on the IL, which is already a major hit to their roster. And welcome to the Mets experience, everyone. Ohtani is still progressing well and is expected to be ready for opening day. And speaking of the Dodgers, they beat the Padres 14-1 in the spring opener, which is a perfect example of how this season is going to go. And lastly, Bellinger and Snell have still not signed as of recording today. And personally, I think that Manfred was right where you should have a deadline where basically there's a 2-week he suggested that there should be a 2-week time in December where the free agency goes down, and that's that, because you have all the activity coming together at once like you do at winter meetings, but it's really all done after that. And you're not going into camps without two superstars like this being signed. So I just kind of thought I wanted to mention that, and I agree with that. So as always, we're going to finish our episode with the fast fact, and that is back to the NFL, and Justin Fields has unfollowed the Bears on Instagram and said that he wishes that they would just tell him if he's going to get traded or not. And we talked about this, but just once again, do you just want to quickly reiterate, is he going to be the starting quarterback for the Bears next year or not?
No, he won't, and Caleb Williams will take his spot. And look, just a couple days ago, the Atlanta Falcons came out and said that they want to trade up for Drake May, which doesn't really make any sense. If you can get a guy like Justin Fields, who is young and is kind of, not so much of a veteran, but has played in this league for a couple of years now, 3 years. So I think that a great move would either be the Falcons or maybe just a team who really needs a quarterback at the moment. But I think right now, right here, I think the Falcons are the right choice for Justin Fields, not the Bears.
Yeah. So that's pretty much going to do it. And thank you, everyone, for listening to our first 1-hour episode. And that's pretty much going to do it for this week's episode of the Sports Coverage Podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm alongside my co-host, Vince. And as always, check out the Instagram where we'll have exclusive clips and stuff like that. And, of course, subscribe and like here on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening, and we will see you next week.